Bam Bam is leaving. Here's the question we're going to answer. At what point do you put a dog down? I did see a comment the other day, and I was talking about behavioral problems. And when you're uploading stuff, if I uploaded some right now, I'll show you how long it takes. We don't have good service. It's not bad service, it just doesn't go as fast as I like it to. So I have to keep these apps open and all my notifications off. Long story short, I said we just put a dog down for the purposes, behaviorally speaking, didn't fit well with our pack. And you guys don't know how complicated that is. So I'm gonna give you a couple different perspectives on how to choose who to keep and how long and when is the right time to put a dog in a different place or put a dog down. Now, he will live, but he will not be with us. I'm gonna walk through why it's okay. Otherwise, I've got to be honest with you. We'd have to move forward and do what some would perceive unthinkable. That's what that is. Now, guys, for one, thank you as always for watching. Definitely being a part of our journey. It's been a long one, and after 4 years of me being super committed, it's good to see people really invested. And we have a new dog coming too, by the way, and that's not why he's leaving. Bam Bam is showing behavioral problems that concern me, because if you look at a dog, and remember, you guys humanize dogs, I get it. It looks like I humanize them. Trust me, they get a great life. They have a good time. We all have a good time. I repeat that the weather's so bad in Texas, and bad meaning 102. This could be the time as we move forward where I take the dogs to a cooler environment in the future and we live there for the summer just so we can keep them going. That decision's yet to be made. We still got 3-5 years here. And we're not leaving, but I'd want to go push them. Now, make a phone call. You say, hey, my man, when do you move on? When do you put the dog down? Well, what's he doing? You go, I'd shut him down. And I'm gonna give you guys a small case in point. There's a dog I had literally named Kane. I got it from this woman, and he was a bad dog. That's the truth. And normally I'm really good with names, really good with dog names. I love a good meaningful name. And I had this dog for like 2 weeks. He was 8 weeks old, so he was going on 10 weeks, and I couldn't come up with a name with him. I saw him snap on a dog when he was 10 weeks old. I said, oh, I know what to name this joker. Cain, because Cain killed Abel. Well, in that moment, fast forward, he's acting nuts. He's gotten bigger. He's gotten stronger. And there's nothing I could do. Couldn't put him on a leash. Couldn't put him on a collar. This dog was a straight lunatic. And believe it or not, aggression is an epigenetic factor. And they call it a behavioral gene. So behavioral genetics is what you would consider to call it. And you look up and you say, I didn't know that could be passed on. Well, guess what? At the 2-year mark, it's not uncommon again for a dog to show that it is a problem. And even in some cases, specific to a breed, these dogs will lash out and respond. And I'll show you. I mean, you'll see the B-roll side of this thing about behavioral issues and how they are identified, and it coming after 2 to 3 years. But Cain was a dog, and we'll start with Cain, that I kid you not, I was going to put a bullet in his head. That's the truth, people. He was a dangerous dog. I knew he was a dangerous dog. My dad's at the house with me. It's all the time for him to stop by. I think it's like the one time. I don't even see this joker. All of a sudden, he's like, hey, man, what you doing? I'm like, oh, man, I was like, what's that? I'm going to pull up. I'm like, what? This is odd. He comes over. Dog's acting crazy. He said, I'll take him. I'll take him. Work with him. I said, whether it's now or later, this dog is going to be a problem. So let's take a little. I'm going to put my thing on, brighten the light, just so I can show you Cain. Fast forward 9 years, another kid named, dude I know, we'll just say that. He said, hey, can I have Cain? I'll take him. I said, okay. I said, but you understand, at some point, this dog gets crazier. And guess what? Not only had the dog gotten so senile and aggressive that his roommate couldn't walk out of his own room. So you go, I got a bad dog, and I never bred Cain, and I could have. His roommate couldn't walk out. He says, Trevor, what do? I said, same thing I told you guys to do 9 years ago, or what I was going to do, put him down. Fast forward. This is Kane. Guys comes and visits. Kane attacks Champ. He got Kane, as you see them shoulders. He was gonna help put some muscle into my liver years ago. But then once I realized he's a fucking psychopath, I had to let him go. I said, "Oh, we can't breed no more nuts." This is how it's gonna sound the rest of the night. Like a nigga's choking somebody to death. Kane backs you into a corner. Backs the dogs into the corner the whole night. Even when you're feeding him, he's growling. Anything get close to him, especially another dog, he's reactive. I was like, bro, I told you, man, this dog is dangerous. Because at the end of the day, it's still a dog. It's still an animal. And he's capable. And he chewed on Champ that night. And Champ was just walking around, cut my guy Champ's face, little nose up. And when we're looking at Bam Bam getting into a reactive state, well, his dad's defensive. And he's bringing the devil out of ego. And let me be very clear. See, I can control Zara. I can manage her. We're one. But she'll respond in kind. And I told y'all better leave her alone. She's not in a good mood. And she don't want to be bothered. She's the one that checks in everybody, sees what you're doing, stands up like normally boy dogs. But now mind you, girls, a good girl dog's probably the best thing you could have in your pack. She's standing there and look, hair's all the way up. She's a loving, sweet dog. People love her, but when it comes to other dogs, I'm like, yo, if your dog thinks it's tough, you're gonna have a problem. Fast forward, Baloo is not the best dog. All other dogs should be fine, and people who have the dogs are doing great. I've heard good things. Bam Bam's gonna ruin my pack. And when you look at the next 10 years of your life, with all the things that we're trying to achieve, do you keep a dog who's going to cause more problems than solve more problems? You say, well, he could be managed. We got a lot of dogs coming, people. There's a lot of things we got to achieve, and peace in your home is everything. Now, originally, as I told you, he's gonna live with me, die with me. He got me. It's funny, I chopped my thumb off the other day. I kid you not. I literally smooth cut the nail. And
just cut my nail off.
And this is the same hand the dogs got me on. So I'm like, well, I'm 2 for 2 here. I looked, I said, is this? I said, dang, I got the same thumb again? And this time I did it to myself. Well, I'm 2 for 2. It may be time for this thing just to go. Seem to be in the way. But Chris Moore was here. And Chris Moore gave me hope. He gave me hope. I saw some things and times you think a dog's more dangerous than he is. And Bam Bam's not dangerous. He's not dangerous. You see, there's a difference. That dog, dangerous. Kane, dangerous. Bam Bam's a dog who needs a lot of time, attention, love. He needs to be in a single family home with a couple or a person that can just enjoy him. The pack thing ain't the best thing for him. And he's not super driven, so he won't get the attention he needs from me. Because when it's time to go to work, I come out there 30 minutes later, as we've probably shown you in various videos, Ego and Tron are still on that rope. It's 100 degrees out. They're still working. And that's how it should be. When the shift starts, we got to go to it. Bam Bam will bite twice and move on with life. And then go harass the other dogs. You say, he's got to go. He's got to go. So we're putting with someone that we know, and they don't have any other dogs. I said, well, how much? I said, have them for free. These dogs don't make or break me. I want to continue to reiterate that. I'm not trying to get rich off dogs. What we're trying to do is educate and teach. So when do you put a dog down? When you can quantify a behavioral thing early, it only gets worse. If it's a real behavioral thing. Kane, 8 weeks old, and he chewed on one of my dog's necks so bad. I come back. I said, yo, who did this? I said, at my uncle's house. And the whole dog's neck was blue and red. And then I saw with my own 2 eyes. And he was just literally lashing out. There was no food. There was no treats. There was no environment where he had to be hostile. And he just kept getting more and more hostile. I said, this is a problem. He's got to go. Now, mind you, same thing with Kane. If you really can manage, the guy who had him, he never hurt him. That was never the issue. He was never. I knew he wasn't gonna hurt the person. Bam Bam's not gonna hurt the person. I mean, Chris Moore grabbed Bam Bam by his face And it's like, oh, he's got something in his eye. He's holding him. Emma's like this, and he's digging. Let me help you out. But I forget that Chris is a dog man, and he knows behavior just like I do. You see somebody back up, you know when a dog's going to act unruly. I never presumed that I don't want that lashing, but what I saw with Chris's interaction with him, like, oh, man, as tough as, he's not as big of a problem as I presumed. And then even more importantly, I've seen him now. It's not a big problem. But if you look at where we're at and where we're going, he doesn't fit in. It's just, and we're never going to breed him. He's never getting bred. I don't like the things that I don't like. He took on a lot more of his dad's traits. And Zara, Cha-Cha's taking on a lot more of Zara's traits. So much so that even he was being walked and somebody was walking him. It's two kids was getting the ball out of Cha-Cha's mouth and throwing it. Bam Bam was a little bit more reactive to my guy, Jack, who's here visiting. And, he went down the pad and he'd back up and bark. Jack was there and hold you the first day he was born, bro. Literally. This is confusing. So, in the right environment, he can and will thrive. But as I said before, if he has to come back, there's no future for him because I don't want to quantify those things. And again, you guys, oh, he's a bad guy. Call me what you want. My only objection, or my only objective, is to make sure that people, including myself, end up with good dogs that you never worried about your safety. And I'll be very clear, I'm not worried about my safety. As I said, I didn't hit and beat the dogs up when they got me. You just like, oh, that's on me. But when we start looking at where we're headed, the dogs that are coming in, all the behavioral things that some of them kind of manage, when I start seeing Ego, who's the most confident, cool dog I got, start getting tumultuous or bringing out traits that I don't want to bring, that I know that exist in him, but the goal is to manage them correctly by never forcing him to be to not have peace in his home, then we have a problem. Because for a fact, Ego's with me till 10, 15. If he lives, if he's willing to stay alive and he's okay and he's healthy, there's no day where Ego never leaves. It's just not happening. And he's not even my favorite dog, but he's the dog that I can breed and say, this is going to be a good dog you're getting. Like, this is a good dog here. Super manageable. You don't hear no barking unless you've made him angry. That's funny because he don't say nothing. He be chilling, but piss him off. And you have a problem. And what you don't want to do, and I've learned this even from other behavioralists and people who do dogs. One of the goals with a guy I know that had a shepherd, he said, the goal is to make sure he doesn't know he's a German shepherd. I said, what? He said, because the minute he figures out what he's capable of, now I have to up the training. And he becomes not a problem to me, but his capabilities kick in like a superhero. Because a good shepherd is a good shepherd. And if he knows he's a shepherd, kind of like Mike Tyson knowing he can fight, what is he doing? He needs now a different level of stimulation. That petting him and going to the park and being cool and hanging out with the family, that's cool after I get to do what I want to do. And that's the part people don't consider. So Bam Bam will be leaving. You're going to ask, hey, what happened to Bam Bam? This is the God's honest truth. I'm never going to breed the dog. At some point we get land. But the other side of it is there have been people who have to put dogs down. I mean, Stan's gotten bitten by a Rottweiler that they tried so much, and they still wouldn't put that dog down. And they bit 3 people, including the owner, and then they finally just sent it to a farm because they felt bad. Guys, look, I'm not telling you should put a dog down because it's a bad. I'm telling you that when you look at the bigger picture, if Bam Bam is showing reactivity to children, we've got a 7-year-old kid here, and it's Jamal's son. Bam Bam come out and go to the bathroom. He sees the kid. He starts barking and backing up. Cha-Cha walks right past him. Tron and Ego run right past him. Hera, when I came downstairs the other day, Jamal was like, oh, Hera, she was being a little fussy, so I just let her out. She was roaming around the house with their dogs. Nothing in me says, oh, that's crazy. I'm like, that's good. That's good. Kids out. Life is good. You're not worried about her. But I have to worry about the safety in this home or in the home I'm going to build for everybody. In my opinion, the most peaceful place on earth should always be your home. And if I'm being honest, and I have to throw the color thing in here, so people, like, I'm just saying in general, some of you won't be able to relate. There's no place on earth where a black man will ever go and feel safe. Not African American. Just so we're clear. Safe. And unfortunately nowadays, the way things are going, you're almost not safe going home. So I repeat, we're going to get more dogs so that we can continue to change the world. It is important that we have these honest conversations and moments of clarity about what's going on. As I told you, I don't want to ever have to hide anything or miss a step because people are unsure about what to do. Bam Bam has showed concerns. I actually believe because he's not a bad dog, that in the right place he becomes more chill, more respectful, better because it's one-on-one. I don't have the motivation to deal with him in that way because he's not motivated in the way that I like to be motivated. So you say, what do? You can't go play for the Patriots if you are used to just getting by. You see what I'm saying? Maybe that won't ring true, but you can't play with Kobe or Jordan if you're just showing up to do your job. These guys demand a little bit more. They require a lot more out of their teammates. And for those that saw it, they don't play Ray Lewis. You can't go be on Ray Lewis's team and not give it everything you got every time. In this case, we are going somewhere, and we got here because we try to get up and do the best we can for our dogs, day in and day out. And we're going to continue to do so. But if you're considering putting a dog down or rehoming it, if it's not a bad dog, make sure you give them the education they need to sustain that dog's quality of life and manage it over the next few years. I don't think 10 years from now that Bam Bam hurt somebody. He didn't go out of his way to bite me. I tried to pick him up and he was, and my hand got stuck in his mouth. So he got me. But he didn't latch on. He wasn't trying to directly hurt me. He was in a heightened state of fear. And I repeat, I have no clue why. And I repeat, if any issues, which these people know how to manage dogs, to be clear, I would not put him somewhere where he couldn't be successful. And they can't deal with it. He has to come back. And then coming back, it'll be time for him to meet his maker. So I do hope you guys learned something from this, and that you don't live in fear of judgment or concern. At the end of the day, a dog is a dog. We've heard horrible stories of dogs attacking and doing terrible things to people and children. And again, I like, you got 48 hours to find somewhere for him, or I'll bless him. I'll bless him. And you'd be surprised how many people just do this with. And what happened to him? I don't feel we can, because he is a dog that people, hey, how's Bam Bam doing? What's going on? He'll go somewhere. You might see him in the future, just as far as like, hey, how's he coming along and be in the same space as him? But we've got 3 new breeds. Another one coming. A dog literally on its way from California. And this is much bigger than a single dog, people. So keep taking care of your dogs. Hopefully you learned something. As always, I'm here not to answer questions, but we're going to keep sharing with you the truth and, a little bit about our story and the journey. And it just didn't work out with Bam Bam. It's that simple.